Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 1246th public hearing and regular meeting of the Livonia City Planning Commission. I wish to inform all interested persons in the audience that for petitions on tonight's agenda, which involve a question of zoning, the Planning Commission will make a recommendation to the City Council, and the City Council, after holding their own public hearing, will make the final determination as to whether a petition is approved or denied. The Planning Commission holds the only public hearing on requests for preliminary plats and/or vacating petitions. The Commission's recommendation is forwarded to City Council for the final determination as to whether the petition is accepted or rejected. If a petition requesting a waiver of use or a site plan is denied tonight, the petitioner will have 10 days in which to appeal the decision in writing to City Council. Resolutions adopted by the City Planning Commission become effective 7 days after the date of adoption. The Planning Commission and professional staff have reviewed each of these petitions upon their filing. The staff has furnished the Commission with both approving and denying resolutions, which the Commission may or may not use depending on the outcome of the proceedings tonight. If our Secretary is ready, please call the roll.
Mrs. DeNaro.
Here.
Mr. Bonjero.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Droz.
Here.
Mr. Ventura.
Is here.
Caremagno is here. Chairman Wolschow.
Is here. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Also with us tonight we have Stephanie Reese, we have Chris Canty, and Jacob Uhazi, all from our planning staff. They will be giving us information about these petitions as they come forward on our agenda. And then for anyone in our audience wishing to know how the meeting proceeds, after hearing the background information on each agenda item, we'll ask that the petitioner come forward and speak to their item. If there's anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak for or against the item, there'll be an opportunity for them to come forward before we make our final decision. With that, we're going to start with the public hearing section of our agenda, item number 1.
Petition 2026-05-02-13, submitted by Lux Event LLC, requesting waiver use approval under sections 2.01, 3.11, and 6.14 of the Livonia zoning ordinance as amended to operate a banquet event facility with occupancy over 50 people at 27600 Schoolcraft Road, located on the north side of Schoolcraft Road between Inkster Road and Cardwell Street in the southeast quarter of Section 24.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Uhazi?
Thank you,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Chair. This request for the banquet facility is, the petition is located in Buckingham Village Shopping Center. It's an existing multi-tenant commercial shopping plaza located on the north side of Schoolcraft Road, just west of Inkster. This is the site of the former distillery and next to the existing Snookers pool and bar. The existing site zoning is C2, general commercial. To the east and west are additional C2 properties. To the south is the I-96 Expressway, and then to the north is the Buckingham Village subdivision. The petition site is about 0.79 acres in size with about 112 feet of frontage on Schoolcraft Road. The shopping plaza in total is about 7.5 acres with about 1,000 feet of frontage on Schoolcraft Road. And it is about 367 feet deep on Inkster, has 367 feet on Inkster as well. C2 district regulations allow banquet event centers with the waiver use approval. Section 6.14 does require a separation of at least 300 feet from any residential or church use. As I mentioned, the Buckingham Village subdivision is adjacent to the property to the north. Under the zoning ordinance, City Council does have the authority to waive or modify any special requirements of a waiver use, and doing so does require the adoption of a separate resolution in which 2/3 of the members concur. The proposal is expected to accommodate small to medium-sized private events. There would be no in-house food service or catering offered by the petitioner, but a small kitchenette would be available. The kitchenette is shown here in the rear of the building. Outside catering would be allowed. The petitioner does not expect to serve alcohol directly, but they do expect to have vendors be allowed to offer that service. The floor plan shows 480 square feet of dance floor reception area, as well as a partition space that will accommodate 2 bathrooms in the middle of the building, as well as a bridal room and kitchen area. For reference, this is the existing facade. The petitioner has provided an updated elevation. The elevation includes repairs to the metal panels, painting the overall exterior matte black, white, and tan, the cleaning of the interior and exterior of the windows, the addition of the business sign, replacing the old chandelier with the wagon chandelier, which would be colored matte black, improve the lighting by adding a new wall sconce, replace the old mailbox with a new one, and then remove any hanging wires. Access to the site and parking are shared between the multiple parcels and the tenants that make up the overall shopping complex. Under the zoning ordinance, a banquet center of this size would require 48 parking spaces. The petition site has 30 spaces, but the entire center has approximately 224 spaces. The petitioner has provided a cross-access agreement, being able to use that entire area. They have not proposed any changes to the landscaping. There is an existing dumpster on site in the rear, and the petitioner is allowed one wall sign based on the frontage within the shopping center. The proposed wall sign is 22 square feet, and they are allowed, 220 square feet, and they are allowed 280 square feet, so it does comply with the zoning ordinance. With that, Mr. Chair, I also have some correspondence I can read.
Sure, if you can read that out, please.
From the Engineering Division, in accordance with your request, the Engineering Division has reviewed the above referenced petition. We have no objections to the proposed waiver at this time, but would like to note the following items. 1, the subject parcel is assigned the address range of 27578 to 27630 Schoolcraft Road, with the address of 27600 Schoolcraft Road being assigned to the overall parcel. 2, the existing parcel is currently serviced by a public sanitary sewer and water main, as well as private storm sewer. There is no mention of utility revisions with the proposal, so we do not believe there will be any adverse effects on the existing system. 3, should revisions to the utility services to the building or any work within the Schoolcraft Road right-of-way be required, the owner will need to submit drawings to this department for permitting. Signed, David Lear, Assistant City Engineer. From the Fire Department, this office has reviewed the site plan submitted in connection with the modification and use of the property located at the above referenced address. Fire suppression with alarm monitoring may be required due to use of this address. Occupancy number will be addressed and assigned by the City Building Department plan review process. Kitchen suppression may be required for hood and duct cooking operations. Potentially additional egress exit doors will be reviewed and addressed during official plan review. A detailed plan review will take place when the division receives an official plan set. Signed, Brian Kukla, Fire Marshal. From the Police Department, I've reviewed the plans in connection with the petition. I have no objections to the proposal. Signed, Sergeant Adams, Traffic Bureau. From the Inspection Department, pursuant to your request, the above referenced petition has been reviewed. 1, the petitioner's proposal is a change of use. This would require that the proposed space comply with all current barrier-free building and mechanical codes and standards. This will be addressed further at the plan review if this project moves forward. 2, the rear behind the building is in disrepair and shall be repaired or replaced as needed. 3, the City of Livonia has a noise ordinance that shall be adhered to. This property abuts a residential neighborhood and is a concern. Signed, Jerome Hanna, Director of Inspection. And finally, from the Finance Department, I reviewed the address connected with the above noted petition. As there are no outstanding amounts receivable, general or water and sewer, I have no objections to the proposal. Signed, Erman Sims, Chief Accountant.
All right, is there any questions for staff?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Ventura?
Jacob, during the study meeting, there was a question as to whether or not this parcel enjoyed cross-easement parking rights with the rest of the shopping center.
Correct.
Has that been confirmed that they do?
Yes, they provide a letter saying that they have access to the entire shopping complex.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Ventura. Any other questions for staff?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Droz, and then Mr. Caremagna.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a question for Mr. Housie. So, Mr. Ventura just talked about the cross-access parking arrangements. Do we know anything about kind of the various uses and how those overlap? 'Cause I know sometimes, one might be more of like a morning use and one is more of the afternoon. So I'm just, maybe you could talk a little bit about how those work together and how, this site works or maybe doesn't work as well with some of those other uses.
So the site, the main tenant in the site obviously is the Snookers, which is directly next door. A lot of these smaller mom and pop shops are, I think, like dry cleaners. There is another event center located around this bend here. So I think there is a mix of day and later night use. I think based off of the sheer number of parking and the fairly small size of the types of commercial buildings that are there, I don't think it would be any hindrance on the overall parking of the site.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Uhazy, or Mr. Droz, Mr. Caremagna.
Jacob, in driving around the property there today, is it one owner that owns this whole parcel?
I don't know how the overall ownership works, because it is, at least in our system, show that there is a separate parcel for right here, but I don't know how the ownership works for the entire corner.
Okay, it's just amazing how terrible what terrible shape that property's in. Just amazing to me.
I believe, because I know a couple years back, this area was resurfaced, but not the entire parking lot in the front, so at least shows me that they're probably a separate owner here. But the closer to the corner, I think, is a separate.
Yeah, the alley is just embarrassing that this is in our city of Livonia. Just how bad that is, just weeds growing over the walls. It's just terrible back there. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caremagna. Any other questions for staff?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Bonjero.
Jacob, the previous tenant, did he have to bring those bathrooms up to code?
I don't believe he had to make any modifications to the bathrooms.
It seems to me there was something about that, but do these current bathrooms meet the current code
I
requirement?
don't know if they meet the building code, like the current building code. I know that was one of the issues at the other petitioners for banquet center. The inspection did not specifically, I mean, they said that they would have to meet that, but they didn't do a full review to know what.
Okay, so we haven't seen the floor, we don't know, okay. So right now, we're assuming it's okay, but,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bonjero. Any other questions? All right, I think we're all set there. Thank you, everyone. The petitioner, I believe, is in our audience. Feel free to come forward to our podium. I ask that you start with your name and address. Good evening.
Okay, good evening. My name is Tiffany Munson. I am the representative of Lux Events, located at 27600 Schoolcraft Road in Livonia, 48150.
Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you for having me.
And what would you like to tell us about your request to open a event space in this property?
Okay, well, Livonia, the city of Livonia is already near and dear to my heart, as well as event centers. And I do believe that there is a lack of luxury event centers that's all inclusive in terms of decor packages, the vision that a lot of the micro brides are looking for, micro events, and just bring in like that modern vibe and feel. I myself, with my husband and audience, actually was also married in the city of Livonia. So Livonia is the only place that I really want my luxury event center to be located. And it's really near and dear to my heart. We also are in Livonia Public School District, which is where our son attend school at, that's 8 years old. And I'm really before you today. I love this location. I think it's in the perfect location of Livonia. As we've seen, of course, the exterior, even, the work that needs to be done at this location, to a lot of people, is too much, if I'm being honest. But to me, I just see a gem when I look at it. It has its own unique exterior. I do believe I brought a couple things with me today, even though Jacob did a wonderful job showing everything. But I do believe that and agree that it is a shame that a building actually looks this way in the city of Livonia. It's not what I'm used to when I think about the city of Livonia. And I do believe that going from this to this would make a great change. I also have overall over 10 years of management experience. I also own and operate a successful cleaning company. I believe that your city and location will be in great hands with me. Not to mention the fact my partner over here also has 20 years of management experience as well. And we are just ready to provide a family-friendly, safe event center. And of course, obviously with your blessing and approval.
Well, thank you, Ms. Munson. I appreciate your presentation. And let's see if we have any questions for you from any of my colleagues. Is there any questions? Mr. Bonjero.
Ms. Munson?
Yes.
Just a question. Okay, so when you started looking for a spot to put your business, did you realize there was Champs Palace right in the same strip?
I did, yes.
So like, how does yours differ from theirs? Because it looks like it's similar offerings.
Yeah, it may be similar offerings, but when you look at the overall vibe of what I'm looking for opposed to what they have, and this is no shade to any business, but to me, personally, if looking at the location, if I was able to choose Champs Palace as my actual business center, I wouldn't choose it for a few different reasons. For one, it's basic. When you look at the inside, it has a lot of space, but it's almost a little bit too much space. Also, I love the fact that my facility offers more soaring ceilings, like 20 feet tall. I'm able to offer the more modern feel with the matte black ceiling, the nice circle lights throughout, brighten it up. The packages, I also love the fact that the exterior is different from any other exterior there. And just the overall vibe of that, it gives the looks grand. Also, too, we all need a home, right? And we all have competition. I mean, I see Target across the street from Walmart. I see all these different locations, and it don't scare me. I am actually happy with the location because I feel as though people already frequent that location. It's a great space. It's great for me to be able to show my creativity, and the interior, the vibe, the overall experience that my customer base will receive will be totally different, even though they offer some things that feel similar when you're just reading them on paper.
So do you have experience running an event center?
Well,
Is this first for you, or?
this is my first actual location. Prior to this, outside of the over 10 years of management experience, I actually was doing classes showing people different ways to decor. So basically, business owners that own event centers, I have been showing them different ways to be unique and offering their luxury packages to their guests.
How many employees do you anticipate having?
Well, it'll depend on the size, but my average number that I anticipate based on, depending on like, if I go off of my average package will be 2 event attendees
Okay,
and possibly security as well.
thank you for that. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Bonjero. Any other questions for our petitioner? Mr. Droz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Ms. Munson, for your presentation. A couple questions I had about the site.
Okay.
So the building official has noted that, and Mr. Carmagno as well, that the alley is in pretty bad shape. And knowing that you're a tenant potentially in this space,
Yes.
what level of confidence do you have that the property owner can meet that requirement? Because it's not an insignificant amount of work back there in terms of the pavements.
Okay. Yes. Well, listen, I'm open to, at least for my portion of the rear, I'm open to clearing it out myself. Yeah. Hiring the correct crew, professionals to clear a lot of it out myself.
Okay, and I'm thinking they're probably referring to the pavement quality too, so potentially some pavement back there.
Yeah, it's a little broken up. But I also want to be clear that we will not be having any type of guest in the center, in the rear of the building as well. It would be completely locked. There is a 0 tolerance for smoking, so there will be no reason for anybody to try to travel into the back of our building. Yeah, and my event attendee employees will be enforcing that.
Okay. And then my second question, I think it sounds like based on this use and the adjacent Snookers, is that probably that parking lot to the west would probably be maybe like a spillover area for additional parking. I don't believe that parking lot has lights. So is that something that, I guess just thinking about, because you guys are going to be open potentially till, into the evening hours.
Yes.
I guess if there's any indication about whether you would be doing that parking closer to Inkster or to the west. If it's to the west, I think I would suggest that, the additional lighting is provided in that parking lot.
Okay.
So those are probably 2 items that would fall more on your landlord, but
Right.
if you need that parking, I think it would be an important improvement from my view.
Okay. Thank you. And I will definitely speak to them about that, as well as I can also add additional lighting to my building as well.
Okay. I think just be careful of the type. I think have particular requirements about the type of lighting, and generally they don't want it facing out towards the street. So I think it would be more of a parking lot improvement.
Okay.
I would think to comply with the policy. So
Okay.
I'm good, Chair. Thank you.
All right, thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Chair.
Droz. Mr. Uhazy?
If I can, so just for reference, so we're all on the same page, it does appear that these 2 lots have the same owner. The rest of the plaza is owned by a different entity.
Okay.
So,
Is that the canvassers still? Do you know? Is it the canvassers?
that's not what it has in our system,
Okay.
but it doesn't mean that they're not.
Okay, I'm just going back a ways. Back in the day, I know this property used to be owned by, it was split in 2 different parcels, and there was they were both canvassers. I think they're brothers or something that owned the 2 parcels, but they were kind of at odds with each other and never did anything, together. So it was an interesting dynamic over there back in the day. I don't know if that's changed or not. All right, any other questions for the petitioner?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ventura and then Mr. Long.
Good evening. I have a question about smoking. You said you were going to have a no smoking tolerance policy. What does
Yes.
that mean?
Okay, so that means that interior, inside of our event space and in the rear of our event space, there will be no smoking allowed, and preferably 25 feet in front of the event space as well outside is where guests would have to go in order to have a smoke if that's what they desire to, especially with us being a family-friendly event center. We really just don't want anybody inside of the premises or directly close to the building.
You heard Mr. Uhazy read the letter from the inspection department, and the noise ordinance is a big concern, primarily because you are adjacent, you're 20 feet away from homes. How do you with 2 staff members on an average night, how are you going to control the noise when people are going in and out of your building to smoke, and you've got a band going on in there, and what do you have to control that? That they don't stand there with the door open, especially in cold weather, letting the heat out, trying to stay warm? How do you anticipate you're going to handle that problem?
Okay, so my staff will be well-trained, you know, in order to, they'll have different things to do. You know, one will be mainly helping guests with different things. The other one will be closer to the front or the rear. And they'll be moving about. Keep an eye, not to mention the fact we will also have a camera system in place. And it'll be enough of them with their training, not to mention the fact that sometimes, depending on the size of the party, I may add a third event attendee or security in order to manage. And
Okay, speaking of size, what's the maximum number of people you anticipate having there?
125 is the maximum.
So you want to have up to 125 people,
Yes.
okay? I see you provided us tonight with a rendering of your new finishes in the front, and it looks very nice. Can you tell us what material is the black surface on the, is that new metal, or what material is that?
No, so most of these things here will be existing, the existing facade. So what we will do is like the metal pieces that we spoke of before that was kind of hanging off, those will all be repaired before any type of painting begin. So, but most of these will be existing. It will just be the repairs to the existing metal that's there, except for there is a metal piece that is missing and it's like some wood exposed there. So we will replace that, repair the existing, and then we will prime and paint the building for the most part.
Okay, and that answers all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ventura. Mr. Long, did you have any?
Mr. Ventura and I were on the same wavelength. I'm okay.
That's okay. Any other questions for our petitioner? I do have one question, Ms. Munson. In your rendering, you show the glass portion of the facade is being quite black.
Dark.
Very dark. Is that going to be tinted more so than it currently is?
No, so the windows now are currently tinted. So we will either, our plan is to kind of make it a little more uniform because it's tinted, but it's more of a brown that kind of goes more with the brown that's there right now. So we will do more of a black shade to go more with a matte black, but we don't plan on really, the black alone will make it appear a little bit darker, but we don't plan on really like darkening it though.
Okay. And then your interior lighting is going to be, I know you have these chandeliers and so on. I assume, as you described your business being a luxury facility with a really nice interior, that it's going to be sort of mood lit. It's not going to necessarily be an intensely bright space inside. Is that your intent?
Right, exactly. So it will be moonlit, but it will also be dimmable though. Okay. So we will get like those, you know, the circle shop lights. We already have them ready to go if we get your blessing, but they will be dimmable.
Okay, so you're going to adjust the lighting based on the type of event that you're going to have. Right?
Exactly, yeah, because we also plan on having corporate events. We also plan on having some annual fundraising events like Toys for Tots and, you know, turkey or ham giveaways for Thanksgiving. And so we want to be able to adjust that lighting for the different events that's not looking for the moonlight.
Okay. And how many events do you expect to have per week?
If and when business goes
When you're
according
doing well.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the events will be on the weekend, and so I would anticipate a Friday evening, 2 on a Saturday, and 1 on a Sunday. So about 4 a week is what we would anticipate, unless it is like prom or graduation season, and then we'll see a couple more throughout the week.
And when you say a couple on Saturday, you would anticipate to have a daytime event perhaps, and then an evening event?
Perhaps, yes, but the most popular, of course, would be evening.
Okay. All right, very good. I just wanted to understand your business plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for the petitioner?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Caremagna.
When we were at the study session, I think there was some talk about outside catering. In other words, bringing food in. I was confused. I thought maybe you were thinking about food trucks. And I got my mind straightened out on that. But outside catering, so will you bring food and cater it in the front door? Will they come around the back to serve it through the back door? How will that work? What do you envision?
So I envision them still coming through the front door because, like caterers, they should be arriving a little earlier. So at least to get the majority set up, and then they may bring in the food, a little bit later. But I do still envision the front door.
Okay. And then we talked also a little bit about alcohol sales, control. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so we are not asking for a liquor license, but we would allow so let me be clear, we actually have partnered with a reputable, almost 30-year experience mixologist school. And in that, we actually are only planning on really using their vendors, but if a client is persistent on hiring an outside vendor, and it would be the same process whether they really want their own or we do it ourselves, we will actually be double checking that their certificate is in good standings, the mixologist, and also too, we will also require them to have their own insurance as well.
Okay, do they need a liquor license to serve at your facility?
They do not need a liquor license. They just need to go through the mixologist and bartending training through the state of Michigan and have a training alcohol serving certificate.
Okay, and your insurance doesn't need to cover that. It'll be a separate insurance, or will your insurance also cover?
My insurance will also cover it, but we will require for them to have their own insurance, or they will not be allowed to be a vendor of ours.
Okay. So all the questions I've got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caremagna. Any other questions for the petitioner? If not, I'm going to take one more bite at the apple. I have another one that I just thought of. There was some discussion during our study meeting, and I wanted to get it on record, about your floor plan. You show 2 bathrooms. Are those existing bathrooms currently in the property?
They are, yes.
Okay.
They're-
And right now, you're showing 2 bathrooms, with presumably one for men, one for women, each with a single toilet, and for potentially up to 125 people. There's 2 concerns that we had with that that were expressed at the study meeting, and I still have them. One is that an adequate number of bathrooms for that number of people? And the location of those bathrooms, because as you're showing, you have a table, assuming you have a fully loaded operation, you have a table on either side of the bathroom. So if I'm sitting at one table on one side of the bathroom, and you want to socialize, interact with people, and maybe my family members are on another table that's on the other side of the bathroom, I can't even see them at this event because there's a bathroom in between us. So it creates an environment where it's not as, I would say, it's not as open to that kind of socialization when you have this kind of space, blocking the middle of the floor plan. Obviously, it's difficult to move bathrooms because they're expensive. There's plumbing involved and so on. But what is your thought on that?
Okay, so my thought actually is, based on this floor plan here, you will have a couple tables, but so the main table in the middle, the rectangular table, will be more of like your head table. And from there, they actually will be able to see all of their guests. And not to mention the fact that this is the proposed floor plan, but we can always move those tables up just a bit because, we may even put like, different tables in the back portion kind of behind there, but pushing the guests up a little bit. But I wanted to, on this floor plan, give us the biggest idea of the dance floor, as I know that typically goes in line with the parking situation as well. So although this is the proposed, it could be where the tables are shifted up as well, and then the guests of honor will, from that space, still be able to see everyone.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I ask is obviously, you've been on airplanes before, and there's always that one seat that's right
That
next to the
people are
bathroom. that
not-
No one wants to be next to the bathroom.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
that's kind of why I'm looking at that and seeing that
Yes.
same kind of.
Yes, and they, just so we're on the same, they are closed-in bathrooms, so
Right.
they're ADA approved, they're closed in, if they're existing. So, as of right now, for what we've known to be for event centers, the requirement anything over 17 guests in a commercial space is supposed to be 2 single-stall restrooms for an event center required. But if, fire marshal, whoever comes in there and they let us know that, hey, this is not going to meet the requirement, even though they're both ADA approved, maybe we need more or whatever, we are willing to make a change at that point.
Okay. Yeah, and I was going to get back to the number of bathrooms question because,
Okay.
there's the minimum requirements and then there's what's practical or what's reasonable. And,
Yeah.
If I work in an office building of 50 people or 75 people, and I see, and they have a single bathroom for men and women, I can see even in that environment where people are waiting and that type of thing. You're in an event space of 125 people, people are drinking, they're eating, they're going to need to use the bathroom. And, sometimes one isn't going to be adequate, in my mind. You need to think about that as a business owner
Okay.
as well. Do you think that that's adequate? Not just looking at what the legal requirements are
Right.
or the building requirements, but what the practical requirements are.
Right. Now, what I will say is that in between offering services to show people how, to effectively set up their space as a luxury event space, and, we would stay there the entire time until it's time to take all the decorations down. Not to mention the fact it seems like every family member of mine is always having an event at a facility of this sort. I've personally never seen a line outside of the restrooms.
Okay.
Just in my personal time of doing it. So as of right now, I would say that I do feel as though it would be practical because, I'm not really exactly sure why that is, but over the however many years, let's just say 10 plus years, I've been going to all these different events, and I think it's because of the fact that although people are partying, dancing, all that stuff, usually those are more like unisex restrooms, so anyone can kind of go to either one of them. And on top of that, people just kind of stagger around. Everybody don't show up at the party the same time. Everybody don't eat or drink always at the same time. And I just feel like it might be like a revolving door, but I personally have not seen long lines waiting for the restrooms.
Okay, well, I'll certainly defer to your judgment. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do when it comes to a bathroom. It's kind of minutia, but it's...
But it definitely
But it's something
is
that's a
great,
concern, yeah.
to think about, yeah.
Okay. All right, any other questions? If not, is there anyone in the audience wishing to address this item? I don't see anybody lunging forward. Anything else you'd like to tell us, Ms. Munson, before we make our decision?
No, I just want to thank you all for your time today.
Well, thank you for coming, and I'm going to close the public hearing, and a motion will be in order.
Okay.
I guess I'd like to offer an approving resolution that the request to operate a banquet event facility with occupancy of over 50 people at 27600 Schoolcraft Road is hereby approved, subject to city council approval and the following conditions. 1, that the submitted floor plan is hereby approved and shall be adhered to. 2, that the specific plans referenced in this approving resolution shall be submitted to the inspection department at the time the building permits are applied for. 3, that no signs, either freestanding or wall-mounted, are approved with this petition. All such signage shall be separately submitted for review and approval by the Planning Commission and City Council. 4, operating hours are 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Monday to Thursday, and 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. Friday to Sunday. 5, that the rear drive shall be repaired and resealed as necessary to the satisfaction of the inspection department. 6, that no LED light band or exposed neon shall be permitted on this site, including, but not limited to, the building or around the windows. And 7, the waiver use is granted to this petitioner only, and any new user of this license is required to seek and receive City Council's consent prior to the transfer.
Is there support?
I'll support.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. DeNaro, supported by Mr. Droz, to approve. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chair, can I make
Mr.
one
Yes, go ahead,
comment? I think since the petitioner has updated their elevation plan, I think we could reconsider the third item because the signage does conform with the zoning code.
I was going to ask you about that, because normally we would have a line saying something that they're allowed one sign that matches
Gotcha,
the
yeah.
square footage and so on.
Correct.
The frontage of the building, so is the maker willing to
Yeah.
adjust that? Okay,
Yep.
that way they don't have to come back to us for a sign. All right, and the supporter's all right with that?
Support.
All right. Any other comments? Mr. Long?
Since the petitioner mentioned that she doesn't want the back of the building being used, is it possible to put anything in here to restrict, make sure that we're not, that we don't want any smoking or anything like that going on in the back of the building?
So the rear door should not be used
Rear
for
door
public
should
access?
remain locked and no public access.
Okay, has this,
I'm okay with that as well.
I see a nod from the
Yes.
supporter? Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other comments? Did we want to add anything of a maximum capacity of 125, or are you okay with letting that just run with the land?
I think I'm okay with it.
Okay, all right. If there's no other comments or questions on the motion, again, this is an approving motion by Ms. DeNaro and supported by Mr. Droz, then if the secretary is ready, please call the roll.
Mrs. DeNaro.
Aye.
Mr. Droz.
Aye.
Mr. Bonjero.
No.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Ventura.
No.
Caremagno votes no. Chairman shall call it.
Chairman votes aye. Motion will go on to City Council with an approving recommendation. Good luck on your project, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Next, we go on to item number 2 on the agenda.
Petition 2026-05-02-14, submitted by Oval Auto, requesting waiver use approval under sections 3.11 and 6.06 of the Livonia zoning ordinance as amended to operate an automobile repair facility at 28755 Plymouth Road, located on the south side of Plymouth Road between Garden Street and Harrison Street in the northeast quarter of Section 36.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Uhazy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This petition is to operate an automobile repair facility located on Plymouth Road. The existing zoning for this site is C2, and the properties to the east and west, as well as to the north, are also zoned C2. To the south is the N2 neighborhood. For reference, the petitioner does own and operate their business out of the site to the east, shown here. So this would be a proposal to move from this site to the petition site. The petition parcel is about 0.65 acres in size with 95 feet on Plymouth Road and a depth of about 300 feet. The zoning ordinance does prohibit any outdoor storage of disabled, damaged, dismantled, or unlicensed vehicles in conjunction with auto repair facilities. The submitted site plan does not clearly identify a designated area for vehicle storage or temporary vehicle storage, but the proposal does show a 60-foot addition off the rear of the existing building, shown here on the elevation. The new building area would be 7,545 square feet in size. The building material would match the existing white block that is on the building. The new floor plan shows 7 repair bays, a a wash area, 2 offices, file storage room, vestibule area, 2 restrooms, a changing room, as well as a compressor room. The updated site plan shows a 6-foot tall chain link fence that would match the existing one on the eastern side. The existing block wall would remain to the south, separated with the residential. The building height would have a max of 18.5 feet. And on the western elevation, there is one new overhead service door, as well as 2 pedestrian doors being added. The existing driveway from Plymouth Road would remain. The site plan does show 29 proposed double-striped spaces with 2 barrier-free. The required parking for a auto repair facility with 7 bays would be, and the petitioner mentioned at the study that they would have 3 employees. That would require a total of 17 parking spaces, which the petitioner does satisfy that requirement. They have also updated their site plan to show that the dumpster would be screened on 3 sides, and then also have a fiberglass door on the 4th. They are permitted 1 ground sign not to exceed 30 square feet in area and a 6 feet in height with a minimum setback of 10 feet from any public right-of-way. They are proposing moving their existing ground sign to their new location here. Any existing or proposed non-conforming signage would require a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals. The petitioner has provided 2 indoor photometric plans. And then they did also update their landscaping plan to add a hydrangea and 2 Japanese maples to satisfy the zoning ordinance requirements.
Thank you, Mr. Uhazy. Do you have correspondence?
Yes. From the Engineering Department, in accordance with your request, the Engineering Division has reviewed the above referenced petition. We have no objections to the proposed waiver use at this time, but would like to note the following items. 1, the subject parcel is assigned the address 28755 Plymouth Road. 2, the existing parcel is currently serviced by public sanitary sewer and water main, as well as private storm sewer. There is no mention of utility revisions with the proposal, so we do not believe there will be any adverse effects on the existing system. 3, should revisions to the utility service to the building or any work in the Plymouth Road right-of-way be required, the owner will need to submit drawings to this department and/or MDOT permitting. Signed, David Lear, Assistant City Engineer. From the Fire Department, the office has reviewed the site plan submitted in connection with the modification and use of the property located at the above reference address. Due to the potential of vehicles being serviced are electric vehicles, and the incidents and/or fires may occur with lithium-ion batteries that are housed in these vehicles, a mitigation plan needs to be in place and submitted as an attachment to the permit and plan set for the City Building Department. Livonia Fire and Rescue is not responsible for proper disposal of batteries during these types of incidents. A further detailed plan review will take place when the division receives an official plan set. Signed, Brian Kukula, Fire Marshal. From the Police Department, I have reviewed the plans in connection with the petition. I have no objections to the proposal. Signed, Sergeant Adams, Traffic Bureau. From the Inspection Department, pursuant to your request, the above referenced petition has been reviewed. 1, A variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals would be required for the proposed fencing. Fencing is not permitted in a C2 district. 2, permits and inspections are required for all work. 3, the parking lot shall be repaired and restriped as necessary. Parking spaces shall be 10 feet wide and 20 feet deep and double striped. 4, signage shall be conforming. Permits and inspection are required for all signs. 5, van accessible, barrier-free parking shall be provided and be sized, signed, and marked in accordance with the Michigan Barrier-Free Code. The required accessible hash marks shall be at least 8 feet wide. This department has no further objections to this petition. Signed, Jerome Hanna, Director of Inspection. And finally, from the Finance Department, I have reviewed the address connected with the above petition. As there are no outstanding amounts receivable, general or water and sewer, I have no objection to the proposal. Signed, Armand Sims, Chief Accountant.
Thank you, Mr. Uhazy. Is there any questions for staff? Mr. Droz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One question, Mr. Uhazy. The provided site plan has the hydrangea and the Japanese maple noted. Are the other shrubs existing, or was that what we saw last time? They just added some additional?
I think they just upped the proposed.
Okay.
They changed out from the existing shrubs to diversify and meet the ordinance.
Okay, so the existing will all be cleared, and this will be a full new planting along here.
That's my understanding.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Droz. Any other questions? Mr. Long?
Jacob, we've got the proposed new chain link fence along the one side. Will there then be a, like an opening, shutting fence guarding the driveway?
There is none shown on the plan. They've not mentioned anything, but.
We can ask the petitioner, okay.
Petitioner, yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Long. Any other questions for staff?
One other.
Sure, Mr. Droz.
Sorry. On the fence, I learned that I guess fencing is not permitted in commercial districts. What is the path forward for the applicant? Would they need to go to ZBA for that fence installation?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Thank you. Any other questions for
Just a
staff?
comment.
Sure, Mr.
It
Bonjero.
looks like there's already some chain link existing, it says on the site plan. So they'd probably have to, it doesn't matter, right? They still got to go before ZBA?
For the new fencing, they have to go for,
Okay, yeah.
like, they could keep the existing stuff, but anything beyond what is already there.
ZBA.
Would have to be ZBA.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, the petitioner, I believe, is in the audience. Feel free to come to our podium. We welcome you to our meeting this evening.
Thank you. Good evening.
Ask that you start with your name and address for our record.
Jeff and Vanessa Shembri at 28735 Plymouth Road, Livonia.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Shembri. What would you like to tell us about your request to locate your business here?
Well, we're just looking to move next door. We've been in business for 25 years now. We run a very reputable auto repair shop. And we just need a little bit more space, a little bit more parking. We're very restricted where we are. Our son is taking over, going to step in his footsteps. He's doing well, and we just need a little bit more space.
All right. Let's see if we have some questions for you.
Sure.
Any questions for our petitioner?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ventura.
Good evening. And I'm sure that the neighbors that adjoin this parcel are thrilled that you're going to be doing something with this building. It's kind of an eyesore the way it is now. I just have a couple of questions. Have you spoken to the inspection department about the fact that the building is condemned?
We have. We've been dealing with Jerome and who's the other really nice guy that's been with us? I forget his name now.
Likely, I think it was Frank Hershey.
There you go.
working with it.
Frank's been great.
Yes,
He
he's
really-
been-
He told us about it, and he knew that
He's
we
been
were
at all
interested in it.
the meetings with us, the legal meetings with the previous owner, side by side with us. We've been to several of the meetings with him, so he's been guiding us along the way and been great and informative, and hopefully we can move forward with this.
Okay, good, thank you.
It's been an eyesore for so long, with being directly next door. I can tell you stories of what we've seen over there with that dilapidated building, and we're just excited to fix it up.
While I think your neighbors are going to be thrilled that you're going to be improving this property, they won't be thrilled if you put parking lot lights that shine in their windows at night.
Of course not.
So I'm going to ask that you do a photometric plan on the outside of the building, and that will ensure that the lights you put in your parking lot will not shine.
Of course. That wasn't,
We do
that
have
wasn't
that.
attached
You have a photometric
today?
plan of the inside of the building. Mr. Uhazy, do we have one on the
There
outside?
should be one of the parking lot as well, because the guy,
Maybe, yeah.
one of my good customers
I sent it
did
today
that.
to
I
Jacob.
received 2 indoor ones, but
Oh, so was it the indoor
You didn't give
ones?
him the parking lot. It's okay.
That's all
We-
I
We'll
had.
have that.
So
It's
you have
already
no
done.
objection to doing that?
Yep, it's
Great,
handled.
thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
And finally, not to beat this to death, but I'd like to see a different fencing than the chain link fence. Is it possible that you would be
We've-
willing to put something different there?
We thought about that. Obviously, we'd like a privacy wall there.
We've
It's very
done renderings
expensive.
too.
We've looked into it. Ideally, that would be something we would do down the line. Right now, our budget would be the chain link fence, but we would like privacy over there, just to kind of close in back there.
Believe it or not, too, the chain link fence would probably be the most not noticeable. If we put up a big vinyl fence, you're gonna have a 6-foot fence around the property. It's gonna look kind of funny, and I've drawn out pictures. So you're gonna have a chain link fence on one side, we'll have the block wall between the neighbors, and then we're gonna have the vinyl fence on the west side. It does look corny, it doesn't look like it matches, and when you're going by a parking lot or driving by Plymouth Road, you don't see the chain link fence. The chain link fence is invisible. It's kind of like, how do you say
See-through.
it? It's camouflage, right? In the parking lot, we keep very clean. The cars are always parked nice and neat. So I would love to keep it matching the other side. It would look cool, but we do what we gotta do.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good answer.
No, I mean, I did my homework. I've drove around, and chain link fences, guys, on certain buildings look better than a vinyl fence. I mean, it just,
Yeah, I would not suggest a vinyl fence there, but
No,
some,
yeah,
some aesthetically pleasing alternative, I think would be an improvement over the chain link. But I understand budgetary considerations.
And we can do it.
As long as you're willing to look at this downstream, I'm happy.
I would like to see a nice
100%.
privacy block wall there.
Thank you, Mr. Ventura. Mr. Long?
So piggybacking on the fence, do you plan to bring that all the way to the front of the, okay, so you're only coming halfway or 2/3 of the way up? and-
it'll be exactly like I have right now. The
Okay.
fence will come up just to block bad people from getting into my parking lot if we leave cars in the back, but now the building will be bigger. So I'm pretty confident that most of the cars will be inside, because most of my customers have nice cars. First thing they say is, if it's gonna rain, put my car in the shop. They're all like expensive cars, right? So
Right.
we take care of them. I mean, the only things that are outside are employee cars, parts cars, like the parts delivery cars, stuff like that. I mean, we're not gonna never have a car back there, but we'll keep it down to a limit.
And it doesn't do you any good to have the fence on either side and the wall in the back without putting some kind of a moving gate.
So there will be, like we have already, me and my son every morning, we pull up, we take the lock, we unlock it, we swing the gate over, and it kind of disappears into the other gate, because it's chain link, right?
Right.
If we put like a vinyl fence, it's very hard to use, and I don't know, it just, we'll leave it at that. We're trying to get the chain link fence, that's all. Like right
No, I
there in the
understand.
picture.
I
That's
understand. It's
exactly
just-
what you see.
That just, it wasn't on our plan, so.
No,
I
no,
just-
you're
Yeah,
fine.
sorry.
You're fine.
I
That's
forgot
okay.
to add
It's
that.
okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Any other questions? Mr. Droz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess a question on the building itself. In your discussions with the building department, what is the plan for the facade? Is it basically going to be restoring the existing siding that's on there, or is that going to be replaced? Because it looks like there's some,
Yeah, so the sides, the east side, the west side, and the south side will be pretty much brand-new block walls, painted, primed, just like my current building, painted like a nice dark brown or something. And then the front will be completely redone, kind of like Mr. Reyes' building across from me. It's got like the nice stone I don't know, I'd like to make it look like a house in the front, some limestone, some cool windows, just dress it up really nice.
When do you plan to have that decision about what that facade looks like?
We have a little
finalized?
rendering,
Yeah,
if you'd like to
I
see it.
sent over a little
Okay.
rendering of what I
He has a
envision.
picture, I believe.
Okay, if available, I think is that what we're looking at here on the
No, it
screen?
was more of a color drawing that should have been attached on the email today.
Let me see. Here, hang tight.
No, I don't have that printed here.
Oh, but we'll have it. It's gonna look nice, I promise.
I trust you,
My
yeah.
house is nice, my
Yep.
shop will be
Your
nice.
current, and your building next door is a good example of, I
We'll
think we
keep
can
it,
feel
we'll keep it
comfortable
nice,
that.
we'll keep our
And
stuff
remember,
nice.
my building's 25 years old, guys. I didn't have any money when I bought that shop. It was just like most people do. They put some paint on it, put some siding up, some caulk around the windows. This one's gonna be all brand new. You're talking almost $1 million, guys.
Good. And I guess to that, I do look at the Plymouth Road corridor as important, and aesthetics are part of that. We don't have a whole lot of zero lot line buildings in the city, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to build on that as we fill in these spaces. So I do want to underscore, not to beat on the fence again, but not necessarily saying vinyl is the way to go, but something a little more decorative than chain link might look well there, especially if you push it back, and even if it's just the portion that you see from the street.
Yeah, maybe just the front.
Like they have like the metal, the decorative metals, that sort of thing. So that'd be
Definitely.
a suggestion. And then the existing sign that's out there, I see you have like a ground sign. Is the existing sign up on the pole coming down? I think it's a tuxedo sign.
I'll take it down for you guys if you would like.
Just
Yeah.
whatever your plan is. Again, this kind of, I think, piggybacks on our discussion at the study session of,
Chain link fence, take the sound line, I'm here to work with you guys.
Understood.
No filter, we're all
Underst-
cool here.
understood.
But
I
yeah, I'll
just,
take the sign down for you guys. I just want to make everybody happy.
I certainly understand that. And again, same topic as we had last meeting, but I think we have to see it on paper.
It's coming down.
Which I don't have,
It's,
so.
my word is my word.
Understood. And then I think we talked a little bit at the last meeting too about stormwater. The parking lot, I'm not sure, are you just resurfacing it, or is there going to be
We're gonna
stormwater improvements?
Yeah, we'll fix the damaged areas. Just like recently, last month at my parking lot, the storm went down, it collapsed, it happens, so we fixed that. So there's 2 more on my side that we're gonna completely redo. Yeah, we gotta do it right.
And I would say if you do anticipate vehicles that, are in need of service, and if it's common to have fluids and that sort of thing leaking, provisions for stormwater quality, I think would be worthwhile here if you're able to make that work within your budget, just to remove the oils and that sort of things that can get into the stormwater.
We have been, we always do. We have a company that comes, hazmat, like mats and stuff like that, so everything gets disposed of once a week. They come and pick it up, and we throw it away.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Droz. Any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Houser.
just one thing, we had some technical difficulties from earlier, so none of the images did come through, she just resent them.
Excellent.
So they were actually able to download, so at least give an idea of the facade and the dumpster.
Very nice. Thank you. All right. Any other questions?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Caremagna.
Mr. Chair, I've got some comments and some questions. Obviously, you just said you're going to put $1 million into this building next door, which is pretty impressive. I don't know many people that will spend that kind of money on what you've got there, so I appreciate that. Some of my comments will be, with the new shop, you won't have a front-facing garage door to Plymouth Road anymore, is that right?
No, just like my house. I respect the neighbors. So the shop I have now has the door there. That's how I bought it. So I'm gonna move the door to the side. Just looks nicer. It's more appealing. So hide it on the side and hide it in the back and leave the front nice and pretty.
I think that's good. You said you're going to paint the building. I think that's also good. The pole sign comes down, also good. Fence is fence. Street landscaping, the pictures are beautiful. The compressor room, is that going to be in the back of the building?
It'll be inside the shop, insulated walls, which we don't really use a compressor no more. Everything's electric, which is great. It's kind of like a car.
So what do you use the compressor for? What's the,
Fill up Dad's tire when he comes to the shop. Okay. That's about all I use it for.
old school tire
Jeffrey, fill
Phillips?
my tire. Jeffrey, fill my tire. That's all he ever does. But we laugh.
I see another improvement. I see a dumpster enclosure that you don't currently have now, so
Yeah,
another
we're
big
gonna hide
improvement
that-
on the property.
hide the eyesore.
Yeah, that's a couple questions I had and a few comments I had. I think you're moving in the right direction, for
Thank
sure.
you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caremagno. Any other questions, comments? Anybody? All right. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this item? I don't see anyone coming forward. Anything else that you'd like to tell us before we make our decision?
We're just really excited to finally fix up this mess next door. My gosh, what we've been through with the owner, and it's been a lot. So
It'll be a
we're
change on Plymouth
excited.
Road. It'll look nice.
All right, very good. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm going to close the public hearing, and a motion is in order.
And come to my shop. None of you come to my shop.
Chairman,
All right?
Mr. Ventura.
I'd like to offer an approving resolution.
Okay.
I can find it.
Be careful, it has 2 number 1s on it.
I got it. Okay. That the request to operate an automobile repair facility at 28755 Plymouth Road is hereby approved, subject to city council approval and the following conditions. Number one, that the site plan submitted is hereby approved and shall be adhered to.
The numbering's a little
1A.
weird.
Along with the submissions at the meeting that constitute the elevation and so forth.
The updated elevation. Yeah.
Updated
Yep,
elevations, yes.
Very good.
Number two, that the floor plan submitted is hereby approved and shall be adhered to. Number three, that the parking lot shall be repaired, resealed, and restriped as necessary to the satisfaction of the inspection department. Parking spaces shall be double striped at 10 feet wide by 20 feet in length. Number three, a van accessible barrier-free parking space shall be sized, signed, and marked in accordance with the Michigan Barrier-Free Code. Number four, that the 3 walls of the trash dumpster area shall be constructed out of building materials that shall complement the building. The enclosure gate shall be of solid panel steel construction or durable, long-lasting solid panel fiberglass. The trash dumpster area shall be maintained and, when not in use, closed at all times. Number five, that all light fixtures shall not exceed 20 feet in height and shall be aimed and shielded to minimize stray light trespassing across property lines and glaring into adjacent roadways. In addition, petitioner shall provide the planning department with a photometric light plan of the parking lot that confirms the conditions required in this number 5 condition. Number 6, that there should be no outdoor storage of auto parts, equipment, scrap material, waste petroleum products, junked, unlicensed, or inoperable vehicles, or other similar items in connection with this operation, and that the overhead doors, when not in use for vehicles entering or exiting, the service facility shall always be closed. Number 7, that the conforming signage is approved with this petition, and any additional signage shall be separately submitted for review and approval by the Zoning Board of Appeals. Number 8, the overall average illumination level for the parking lots shall be 1 foot candle as provided under section 7.22 of the zoning ordinance. Number 9, that unless approved by proper local authority, any type of exterior advertising such as promotional flags, streamers, or sponsored vehicles designed to attract the attention of passing motorists shall be prohibited. Number 10, that the specific plans referenced in this approving resolution shall be submitted to the inspection department at the time building permits are applied for. And number 11, pursuant to section 13.13 of the Livonia zoning ordinance, this approval is valid for a period of 1 year only from the date of approval by city council. And unless a building permit is obtained, this approval shall become null and void at the expiration of said period.
Is there support?
Support.
I have Mr. Long first on that one.
Take it.
Just under the wire.
All right. We have a motion to approve by Mr. Ventura, supported by Mr. Long on the table. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Droz.
I'd like to offer an amendment or addition, if Mr. Ventura is accepting, that the existing sign along the easterly property line is removed.
That's fine with me. We can add that.
Good.
All right, thank you. Any other comments on the motion? Hearing none other, if the secretary is ready, please call the roll.
Mr. Ventura.
Aye.
Mr. Long.
Aye.
Mrs. DeNaro.
Aye.
Mr. Bonjero.
Aye.
Mr. Droz.
Aye.
Chair Magno votes aye. Chairman Wilshaw.
Votes aye, motion passes. We'll go to city council with an approving recommendation. Good luck on your project. Thank you so much. Have a good night. You too. Good night. We now move on to the miscellaneous section of our agenda, item number 3.
Petition 2026-05-08-02, submitted by Chipman Design Architecture on behalf of Chick-fil-A, requesting site plan approval pursuant of Section 3.11 of the Livonia zoning ordinance as amended to include a windscreen between the existing columns by the drive-through door at 11700 Middle Belt Road, located on the corner of Middle Belt and Plymouth Roads in the southwest quarter of Section 25.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Uhazy.
Thank you. So this is a petition to include a windscreen between the existing columns by the drive-through door. It is the existing Chick-fil-A on the corner of Middle Belt and Plymouth Roads. The existing zoning is C2. The lot size is 0.87 acres and has 230 feet of frontage on Middle Belt Road with a depth of 164 feet. The proposal includes a gray wind wall featuring 5 panels supported by 6 columns. It would be located on the existing along the existing drive-through lanes. The vinyl coated plate panels measure approximately 10.5 feet in height. The purpose of the wind wall is to provide protection from the sun, rain, and wind for employees operating within the drive-through service area. The panels would be secured to the support structure utilizing brackets and strap attachments. The petitioner has noted that the wind wall is not intended to be a permanent structure. It will be removed or retracted. The intent would be to use the wind wall on days with 35-mile-an-hour plus winds and during cold months. Outside of adding these vinyl panels, the petitioner proposes no further changes. And then I also have some correspondence I can read with this petition.
Oh, sure, if you'd like to read that out.
From the Engineering Division, in accordance with your request, the Engineering Division has reviewed the above referenced petition. We have no objections to the proposed project at this time, but would like to note the following items. 1, the subject parcel is assigned the address of 11700 Middle Belt Road. 2, the existing parcel is currently serviced by public sanitary sewer and water main, as well as private storm sewer. There is no mention of utility revisions with the proposal, so we do not believe there will be any adverse effects on the existing systems. 3, should revisions to the utility service of the building or any work within the Plymouth Road right-of-way be required, the owner will need to submit drawings to this department and or MDOT for permitting. From the Fire Department, the office has reviewed the site plan submitted in connection with a new canopy windscreen for the use of the property located at the above referenced petition. Provide proper documentation with proof that the cloth material used for the construction of the canopy windscreen has been treated with UL-approved flame retardant chemical to prevent flame spread. A further detailed plan review will take place when the division receives an official plan set. Signed, Brian Kukula, Fire Marshal. From the Police Department, I reviewed the plans in connection with the petition. I have no objections to proposals. Signed, Sergeant Adams, Traffic Bureau. From the Inspection Department, pursuant to your request, the above referenced petition has been reviewed. The department has no objections to this petition. Signed, Jerome Hanna, Director of Inspection. From the Finance Department, I have reviewed the address connected with the above noted petition. As there are no outstanding amounts receivable, general or water and sewer, I have no objections to the proposal. Signed, Erman Sims, Chief Accountant. And finally, from the Treasury Department, all taxes are current with this property, signed Susan Nash, City Treasurer.
All right, thank you, Mr. Uhazy. Any questions for our staff? Going once, going twice. All right, we're good. The petitioner is in our audience. Petitioner's representative, I should say. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, members of the council. Hello. Sorry, 1 second.
Hello.
Okay. Hello, I'm Krista Braza with Chipman Design Architecture on behalf of Chick-fil-A.
Thank you for coming, Ms. Braza. What would you like to tell us about this screen that you want to put up?
So we are proposing to add the retractable drive-through windscreen at the existing canopy columns in the existing Chick-fil-A location at 11700 Middle Belt Road that addresses a critical occupational hazard, safety hazard with the high-speed winds and the cold weather without permanently altering our canopy columns or the site footprint that ensures the protection of the care of the team members. Yes.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to tell us about the canopy itself?
So the canopy, it will stay as it is. There is a 12, okay. All right, so yeah, I do have a presentation, sorry.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, we could go to the next one. All right, so the proposed windscreen is supported by the review of the increment weather data research and analysis that's conducted by North Highway, along with additional analysis that's performed in coordination with our partner civil engineers. The wind data that is on the left, so it's from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the local airport weather stations that's used to validate the site-specific conditions and establish the objective operative thresholds. The local wind studies indicate that the site experiences wind speeds that exceed 35 miles per hour for approximately 30 to 45 days. That's at a minimum. That's primarily within the colder months. That's starting as early as October until late April, which is about 50 to 75% of the year. So due to the orientation of the drive-through lanes, the prevailing winds create a wind tunnel effect that exposes the team members to significant wind chill while working outdoors. And then the retractable windscreen is designed to protect during these high periods of high winds and cold weather, which helps improve the comfort and safety while supporting the efficiency of the drive-through operations and reducing delays during these peak times. So you have your morning rush, afternoon lunch, and then right before the dinner service. So you have a lot of the team members outside with the iPads who are taking these orders. So by the time you get to the window, you pretty much have your food and you're not in that wait. Next one, okay. So as shown on the site plan, the proposed windscreen runs on the western side of the existing canopy, which is directly facing Middle Belt Road, which is exposed to the high winds. So as mentioned, there's no proposed to expand the existing concrete or building footprint, and the setbacks and requirements are completely satisfied with zero visual obstruction to the local traffic lines, which maintains completely sight lines for the vehicles pulling into the property, merging into the street. Next. All right. So in this elevation, which was presented last week as well, the elevation study, the system that we're proposing for the windscreen preserves the canopy at the drive-through lane, and it fits within the canopy structure without competing with the architectural lines or the visual standards of the primary building. Next one. All right. So the material, as mentioned, is from Cabins Craft, and it is a vinyl coated material that is UV rated, resistant, and it also has a feature in the middle where is a clear mesh port and ensures that the team members can have a continuous uninhibited visibility of customers, avoiding blind spots or pedestrian conflict zones. As well as mentioned last week, I would like to emphasize that the attachments for the windscreen are non-abrasive, so the process does not require any drilling or any altering of the existing columns. As shown in the image, the brackets are mounted. They clamp on to the columns, and they are wrapped tightly around without the drilling, and it prevents a lot of the paint chipping, rust formulation, and then mechanical column weakening while still maintaining the structural integrity of the existing columns, and that can be easily removed and cleaned. As mentioned previously too, that the windscreen is not a permanent solid wall or structure. It is a highly flexible retractable system, and it's essentially what you would do with a curtain. You just glide it on horizontally. So for the installation, it can be done within 1 to 2 days, and it's simple operation. That's a team member can also push it out or retract it within 5 minutes. During these warmer climates and the winds are not as strong, so they can stay retracted against the columns and be secure with heavy duty straps. When the windscreen is retracted, whenever forecast the wind speeds exceed about 50 miles per hour, to protect both the windscreen system and the existing canopy as a safety measure. So that is when we try to retract it and have the team members, so anytime there's any 50 miles per hour or exceeding that, the team members will go inside and work from inside, instead of staying out there and taking the orders. There is a coordination between the canopy vendor that we have and a structural engineer that will verify the wind load calculations that confirm that the existing canopies can safely support these systems and comply with any applicable and safety requirements. Next page. So there is 2 gaps that we will have on the top and on the bottom that will help preserve. So it'll be 12-inch gap that will help preserve at both the top and bottom, as mentioned, and it prevents that excessive wind speeds, and it doesn't connect to the top, so it helps that structural integrity, so it keeps that and maintains it, and also avoids that sealed static container feeling, and then it also helps and it acts as a pressure relief vent. And it's a simple clean to use. It is a simple routine to clean, so you can use mild soap if you have like something as woolite draft or a water solution type. That you just gently wipe it down using a Microsoft cloth, and it's something on a weekly basis. So when you do have a lot of the wind raining times, like right now, this rainy season, they can just go down and just wipe it down. There is recommended solutions that the manufacturer does suggest. We have the 303 and then the spray away, and then based on which one you use, you do have the advantage of having one to help maintain the longevity. Okay, next one. All right, so these two are two different case studies that we have, or two different proposed locations that already have been installed. They are not 6 columns, 5 screens, but they are essentially what you would see. So one is during at night, that was recently completed, and one is during the daytime. All right, good to go ahead. And so the slide. So the visual study that you're seeing right now shows the windscreen against the existing conditions or location that keeps the architectural lines clean and uncluttered. And then next. And that's pretty much it. In conclusion, so the windscreen provides essential safety to our Livonia team members while preserving the architectural character of our site. The windscreen requires no drilling to the canopy frame, features pressure relief gaps, and satisfies setback zoning codes. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. I wish our previous petitioner had given such a well-organized one. Is there any questions? Ms. DeNaro?
Thank you for that presentation. Can you talk to me about the decision to go with something like, to me it looks like a tarp, as opposed to like rolling garage doors or some kind of more structured like solution to this?
So the reason for this, it's mainly because of the maintenance of it. If we were to do more of a garage door, there is going to be more, we have to go into drill and apply electrical components to the existing canopy, and the last thing we want to do is add more load to it. So depending on that, so it would essentially be like a projector. So we would have to adjust and put additional load on the roof of it. So we would not want to do that, because then there's also, if it rains, now you have water dripping through if it's not well executed. So in this case, the reason is it's for maintenance, and it's easy to just move it onto the column versus having to go up and down. Because imagine a 10-foot garage door, and someone as short as me cannot either pull it up, and if it's a mechanical, if it were to be on cold climate, like at that point, sometimes the system will not work. Yeah.
So I'm gonna maybe reframe my question a little bit. Because my garage door works in all temperatures all the time. So why not have like an actual structure that's permanently there? Because I'm a big fan of covering your employees from the elements. I'm just not a fan of the aesthetic of this. I don't like the tarp. I don't like, I don't think it's gonna last as long as you say it's gonna last, because tarps in the elements tend to tear and start to wear much quicker than metal or a steel door.
It also has to do with the fact that since we have used them in other locations, it's pretty much been a good material. We have used them, and I've mentioned, with the canvas huts. So it's essentially what I'm at, and you just kind of structure inside with the same material. It helps with the warmth, but I think it's more so the way that the standard that we have with the client. So Chick-fil-A standards, they have a certain type, and they don't want to use the garage look. So I think that's more so to enter that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. DeNaro.
Chairman.
Mr. Ventura?
I'm going to go down the same road as Mr. Naro from two perspectives. Number one, I clearly remember then when Chick-fil-A came in to be approved to go to this site, there are a number of comments about the appearance of the building and the colors and the materials and so forth. And Chick-fil-A made the point that this is our standard and this is what we need to do, and we'd appreciate it very much if we went along with it, which we ultimately did. So, given that, I'm puzzled as to why, when everything is brown and red and cream, we have these rather industrial-looking gray vinyl panels that you want to put here. That's question number one. And my suggestion would be that you go to a color that doesn't stick out so much and is more compatible with the finishes that are already there. Number two, while I appreciate what Mr. Naro said, and my garage door works all winter too, if that's too much of a structural leap for Chick-fil-A, which I find hard to believe, frankly, there's another way to do this, and I've seen them in operation, and they're like a shade, like an old-fashioned shade. They go around a spindle at the top, and you press a button, and they go down. And when you don't want them anymore, you press a button, and they go away again into a metal housing. And they're not heavy, and they're not bulky, and they're far more aesthetically attractive than this thing, especially when you look at how these are stored. They do not store neatly. They look like they just got thrown and wrapped around a pole, which is exactly what they really are. So I'm rambling a little bit, but I'd like to require you, number one, to change the color of whatever you put there. Number two, to change the format of the covering from the one that you're currently suggesting to something that stores out of sight when it's not being used. It is far more deployable in a moment by pressing a button when they are being used, and are of a color that's compatible with what's already there.
Okay. We do have alternates, so there is like the black ones that are that color. That is what we were using in the case studies instead of the gray. That helps kind of tie in more so of the canopy. If the gray doesn't, if that doesn't, lack of word, if you don't like that one, so we can do the alternative of the black. Which I do have, and essentially it's the same. 1 second.
So I've got the original samples that you said. It's a little hard to see on.
Yeah.
You see it?
Oh, it's right here. So it would be like this black one. So instead of the gray,
So the color would match the structure
of the canopy, yes.
I find that color more acceptable, but not, if it's the same configuration of the one you're suggesting here, I'm not in favor of that at all.
Then the third alternate, the second alternate after that, would be a brown. If not
I'm
that
not
one.
talking about color anymore.
You're just talking about
I'm talking about the system
The
itself,
system itself? Okay.
which I'm not in favor of.
Okay.
It would seem to me that an organization as large as Chick-fil-A would have alternative solutions to this
If
problem. I'm suggesting that you
Yeah.
go back to the drawing board and
with
come
this.
back to us with something that's more aesthetically pleasing. I'm echoing what Mr. Naro
Mm-hmm.
said here, but I don't think I'm the only one that feels this way. And so I'll shut
Yeah.
up and let somebody else.
No. I mean, there were alternate solutions that were evaluated. However, based on those options, would require maintenance and introduce bulkier appearances. So I think that's the reason why we're going with this. It's not as, it doesn't require multiple people to do certain things, versus just one person, one team member can just quickly do it, and it's a cleaner, linear look. And I understand where you're coming from, where when it's retracted, it doesn't, it's like all over the column versus it's not moved quickly, or not wrapped tightly the way we would try to intend to do. So it all depends on who's doing it too. So it's like if I'm telling my kid to clean up versus I'm cleaning up, obviously there's going to be a difference in that. But I understand where you're coming with
I understand what you're saying. I've seen what I'm suggesting installed a number of times, and they're far more aesthetically pleasing and a lot easier for the people that you're trying to protect to use.
Okay.
And I don't want to be argumentative here, but
No.
again, I've seen what I'm talking about. It's not, I'm not making this up, so.
Thank you, Mr. Ventura. Mr. Bonjero?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just to piggyback onto that, it's like the door comes down, but it retracts up into a cylinder. You can disengage it from being automatic. You can do it manually. They have them on storefronts in malls. You
Yeah.
see them all over the place. It'd be a lot better solution.
Then
I think I'm struggling the most with the gray, or even the black. I think the black might be worse. But you could get those, what Mr. Ventura's saying, you can get something very similar to this that rolls up, and it can even come with windows too.
okay.
Just something a little, this just doesn't do it. It's right on on Middle Belt too, you know? That's
No,
my-
understood.
Thank you, Mr. Bonjero. Mr. Long?
What's your anticipated lifespan of these panels?
So there is a 2-year warranty for each windscreen, and if there's any wear or tear during that time, the manufacturer will go ahead and replace it. Anytime after that, the operator or client will go ahead and talk about who's taking cost of that, who will be taking care of it. But so far, we are seeing a good amount of year. I don't have an exact number on that quite so, of how long they last.
Okay, because there's a 2-year warranty, and
Yeah.
so, I mean, they're probably not gonna last much longer than that. So, I mean, I think you're gonna be looking at replacing these pretty often, which I'm not sure that that's gonna be your best option. And also, what's the plan for putting these up? So you look at the weather forecast, you're like, it's gonna be a windy day, so you put them up, because, I mean, Chick-fil-A has an incredibly impressive way of handling all the cars through the drive-through. Okay? But during your peak times. But so do you come in the morning and they're like, oh, it's gonna be a windy day, and so you put them up? Or do you react to the wind picking up? Because, I mean, in Michigan, the weather changes every 15 minutes, and we have wind that comes out of nowhere. So what's the plan on how you
Essentially, it
deploy
would be the
these?
same. So with 2, there's the check the weather and see if it's going to be a good day. There's, because of data and from the wind study, you can go ahead and predict that some of these days and months were going to be cold, or high wind speeds. So you go ahead and have that wind speed already. What's the opposite of retracted? Already up and about and going, versus having
Okay.
to keep it retracted.
So in the materials, it says that these are, and I believe you mentioned this as well, that you get above 50 miles an hour and you have a problem.
Yes.
So you put them up for a day and the wind's picking up and you realize that you have to take them down. What's the method for doing that? You pull everybody out of the line and they all do it because you got to do it in a hurry. You say that that only one person can do this, but if you're in a really windy condition, can one person do this?
Yes.
Okay, I have my doubts and concerns about that. I can't support this. I'm not a fan of this. I'll be voting no. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Any other comments? Mr. Droz?
Just a quick one. I looked at this and tried to think about how this could work or what the issues would be. And I tried to find something that's similar in our ordinance. And I mean, essentially, we have post and we have a flexible material. The fence is kind of what we're proposing here almost. And, as we saw with our last petition, fences are not permitted within our commercial zones. And I think there's a reason for that. It's the aesthetics. It's just not what we do in our new commercial zones. And, it just seems to me, we have developments recently that have kind of risen to the occasion when we talk about screening. We had a car wash that enclosed all of their pumps.
Okay.
Put a whole building over it. And so for this to be on one of our main commercial streets and to have effectively a temporary fence that comes up haphazardly, it sounds like, does not seem appropriate for what's otherwise a pretty aesthetically good-looking building. And so I'm with Mr. Long. I really could not support a temporary measure, which is really what you're proposing. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chair, I may as well follow on. I feel exactly the same as what I've heard. But what I seen is I seen something in the write-up that this could be used for sun, rain, wind. Well, obviously you have sun, hot sun in the summertime, rain any time of the year, including today, and then the wind in the wintertime with snow blowing in. So I think if you put more of a permanent structure there, so I was thinking more like storm shutters you might see in Florida on the waterway. They're on a track. It's a track up top, a track on the bottom. You retract them and open them, close them as weather comes. There's no blowing in and out of this storm shutter. Or perhaps a louvered vertical louver panel across there that blocks the wind or a majority of the sun coming in there. Something more permanent, because my concern is the life of this screen. I know I saw the burlap bags that were hanging this winter just look like hell. Just terrible. I drove by, I looked 4 times, I said, I can't believe what I'm seeing. So I can see these tarps turning into that in no time at all. There is a 22-foot gap between 2 of those upright poles. So you got a 22-foot gap, I think I counted. How would the bottom of that tarp be secure without blowing into the cars with a 30, 20, 40 mile an hour wind? I don't even know how that would secure itself, and it would look like laundry blowing in the wind out there. So I don't support this at all. I think there's a much better plan. As Pete said, let's face it, Chick-fil-A is a big deal, and this should be a big deal too. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caramagno. I may as well chime in as well. Everyone else has said the same thing. I'm not going to repeat what everybody said, but I will tell you that personally I don't like the gray material at all. All the pictures you showed were of a black material. I think it fits. It's more fitting with the aesthetic of the uprights and the canopy itself. Just from a color perspective, not even getting into the material, which is I think awful. I just want to hit on a couple points that were said during the presentation that, and no offense, but I don't necessarily agree with. One is the description that this thing will be deployed and retracted, multiple times throughout the year, depending on a day-by-day basis, or even multiple times during the day, based on sun, wind, and other conditions. I don't see that happening. What I see is what happened this winter, which is when the burlap sacks, as Mr. Caramagno referred them as, or tarps, whatever they were put up. They were left up through the whole winter until the city probably said something to Chick-fil-A. I can see the same thing happen with these. These are going to get deployed. Someone's going to wheel these things out and set them up, and they're going to stay up the whole winter. No one's going to sit there and go out day by day and retract them and put them back, put them forward, and so on. They're going to be pulled and they're going to stay there. Because if I'm working at Chick-fil-A, I'm not going to sit there and take the time to look at the weather forecast and figure out, okay, is it 35 or 34 miles an hour today, and I better go out there and move these curtains. The other thing is, you talked about the cleaning of this and maintenance of these things, and that they do require some maintenance. They do require cleaning. They will look scummy over time as dirt and rain and so on hits these things, snow. Again, I don't see a Chick-fil-A employee, in my mind, going out there with a can of sprayway, spraying these tarps and wiping them down with a microfiber cloth. That's just not an activity I can see employees doing on a regular basis, which means that they'll start looking sort of ratty and tatty over time as they get dirtier. So those are my concerns. Obviously, as others said, I think there's a more permanent solution. There's a more aesthetically pleasing solution. I do want to say, and I'm sure my colleagues feel the same way, we totally understand, and I'll speak for myself, I totally understand the need to have some sort of screening. And I think it is important. I think you have a situation where you have a west-facing drive-through, you do have winds, you do have rain and so on coming at you and at the employees that work there. And the need for a solution of some sort is there. I definitely think we are willing to work with you on finding that solution, but I don't think that this solution is what we like, at least what I like. Those are my comments. Is there anyone else wishing to speak before we go to the audience? No one else? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak on this? No? Anything that you'd like to say, Ms. Barraza? We've kind of hit you with a lot of things here.
No, it's okay. Taking it as constructive criticism in this case. So no hard feelings, I understand. What was done for the winter is also not what we would like to do, what we normally do, at least in Chick-fil-A standards. That is something that just caused a lot of an eyesore, and apologies on that. But other than that, I have nothing else.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I would say, just my personal advice would be, I think you need to look at other. I believe you have other options available than this particular system, and I think you should probably look at what those other options are, and bring that to us.
Okay.
That's just my personal thoughts. If there's no other comments or questions, then I guess we're at the end, and we need to have a motion. Is anyone willing to make a motion?
Mr. Chair, should this be tabled or should it be denied? Does denying this change the game for a future presentation?
I would ask the petitioner if she has the ability to go back and speak to her people and come back with something in a reasonable amount of time. If that's something that she can do, then I think tabling to give her time to do that would be a nice thing to do. If she says that she doesn't, then.
Well, I would agree, but so if she can go back and get another plan, that's fine. I think that's good. We could also deny this TARP system and just know that you're not coming back with a TARP system for this barrier. So can you come back in a reasonable amount of time if we table this and allow you to bring back a better proposal?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, then I'm willing to make a tabling motion.
All right, and we have support by Mr. Ventura on that one. And Mr. Caremagno, would you like to set a time certain on that?
Who seconded this? I'm sorry.
We're going with Ventura on that,
Okay.
with a close third on.
To answer your
Bonjero.
question, yes, but I think nothing longer than 2 months, I think is reasonable.
Okay. That work for
So
you,
that would
Mr.
be
Barraza?
for the August? I'm sorry, just trying.
You would be able to come to us anytime prior to, up until that point.
Okay,
So
up
if you
until
have-
that point, okay.
So if you have something that, in a few weeks that you can come to us with, you could certainly do that as well. We're not setting a date. What we're telling you is you have at least 2 months to work on this.
Okay,
Is that reasonable
is-
for staff and everyone
Yes,
else?
that's fine.
And for you, it's reasonable?
yes.
Okay. There is no discussion on tabling motions. That was made by Mr. Caremagno, supported by Mr. Ventura. If Secretary's ready, call a roll.
Caremagno says aye. Ventura?
Aye.
Mrs. Zanaro?
Aye.
Bonjero?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Mr. Droz?
Aye.
And Chair Wilshaw.
Votes aye, motion has been tabled, and we'll look to see you come back in a reasonable amount of time.
All right, thank you so much. You have a good night.
Thank you for being here tonight. We have one item left on our agenda, Mr. Secretary.
That is the approval of the minutes of the 1,245th public hearing and regular meeting held by the Planning Commission on May 5th, 2026.
All members of that meeting were present with the exception of Mr. Droz. Is someone willing to make a motion for approving?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Go ahead.
support it. I'll support you.
We have Mr. Bonjero and Ms. DeNaro on that one. And is there any comments, questions? Is there any opposition to showing 6 on that with Mr. Droz abstaining? I see no concerns. We'll mark that as such. That takes us to the end of our meeting. For the folks in our audience who are watching, we will not have a meeting next week due to Spree. So if you are interested in going down and checking out the Spree, you will be able to do that on Tuesday night instead of watching us. So certainly take that opportunity. It's a close second, I know, to the excitement of these meetings, but go have a good time. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
By Mr. Long and support Mr. Bonjero. That's a motion to adjourn. If there's no objection, I think we can show 7 on that. I see no objections. Meeting has been adjourned tonight at 8:50 p.m. Good night, Livonia.